Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. So this lesson is about reharmonization. That means we're going to take an existing song and we're going to find new chords to play over the same melody. Now, that means that you're probably going to need to already know about chords and keys and probably intervals, and probably have already several songs that you can play well enough that they actually sound like the song. But even if you can't do that, you might pick up some interesting theory bits along the way. So feel free to join us. The goal, though, is not this song. It's not about the song that we're working on. It's really about taking the concepts you like, the reharmonizations, the substitutions that you like from this lesson, and then applying them to other songs that you already know how to play. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong. You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. You're still the one I want for life. You're still the one that I love, the only one I dream of. You're still the one I kiss goodnight.
I don't know. We'll just do that or something else today. I really have no idea what's coming up next. I never do with these reharm lessons. All I know is we're not going to do the original thing. But before we dive into all of that stuff, first let me introduce you, the incomparable Kendra, moderating the chat room and running the cameras and really doing everything, singing our play-along track and everything. How's it going?
I'm great. Guess what, Jamin? I am very excited because I'm working on like 3 songs with a new collaborator.
Cool.
And
can you say who it is or no? No.
Well, I mean, I
You're not supposed to. That's fine.
No. Well, no. I mean,
a new collaborator.
A new collaborator.
Yes, coming soon.
Coming soon.
Cool. 3 new songs, all with the same collaborator.
Yes,
You might must like them very much. Okay, cool. Nice. And then we can look for that on your channel, KendraDantes.com, youtube.com/user-Kendra Dantes Music. Excellent. How do we get to?
I'm just Kendra Dantes, wherever.
Just Kendra Dantes, wherever.com. How do they get to you?
I don't know.
They just search out. Oh, you just want them to Google your name and then give you
places.
extra.
I don't know.
That's smart. Okay, yeah, yeah. Just whatever. You just go, find Kendra. She's around. You'll find her.
I'm here and there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well then, let's go ahead and talk about some of the main points from tonight. These lessons are difficult to do main points for it because we really we kind of make it up as we go along. What I know for sure in the reharm lessons is one of the main points is we're not looking for something that sounds better than the original. We're just not. This is going to definitely sound worse in almost every case. So we're not trying to make something that's better than the original or it's really not about this song at all. We want to take some little nugget from tonight out of the million concepts that we talk about, something that makes sense in your head but you've never tried before, and apply it to one of your own songs. So this is not about Shania Twain or this song. This is just the application of several principles. I don't know what those principles are going to be because we're going to steal them from these random spinning wheels at learnpianolive.com/reharm, and we'll see what we come up with. So let's go ahead and jump into the PDF here. And first of all, before we do the reharm, we just have to do the harm. So you need to go back to the original tutorial that we did last week, I guess 2 weeks ago, and make sure you can play through all of these chords because it's not going to make a lot of sense if you don't have that as a jumping off point. So already we're kind of into the intermediate version of the lesson because you got to know about chords and about notes and already have completed the tutorial. So let's go ahead and change the banner to the intermediate version, assuming that you can already do last week's thing. Then actually let's go ahead and play just the regular. This is the jumping off point. This is where we ended our lesson 2 weeks ago on the tutorial for the song. So it sounds something like this.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong. You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. You're still the one I want for life. You're still the one that I love, the only one I dream of. You're still the one I kiss goodnight.
Cool. So we're going to zoom out on the keyboard so you can see all the notes that I'm playing. And just start messing with this stuff. Now, the very first thing that you want to do when you're reharming this is if we're doing chord-based reharmonization, which just means we're not really paying too much attention to the bass line or to the melody. We're just saying what other chord could go in the place of this chord. First thing you want to do is try adding in 7s and 9s and 6s. That means the note is on both sides of the root of each chord. So maybe this should have gone in the main points too, because this is just an embellishment of the chord. It's not actually a reharmonization. So in the key of E flat, if we could zoom out on these the notes here, in the key of E flat, which is the key that we're in, we talked about that in the tutorial. If we just play this chord right here, this is the 1, the 3, and the 5 of the E flat chord. Then if we go one note on both sides of the root of the chord, this is the 1, this would be the 2, and this would be the -1, which we don't have in music. So we would like count up from the bottom down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, because it just repeats those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be the 1, this would be the 7, and this would be called the 2, or you could consider it the 9. The 9 and the 2 are basically the same thing for the purposes of our lesson today. So the 7 and the 9 is just the note that's on both sides of the root of the chord. That might sound terrible to you right now, but eventually, if we just added in 7s and 9s on all these chords, or if you wanted to, you wouldn't have to put in the 7. You could use the 6 also, one more note to the left. 6s and 7s, but include that 9 or that 2. Then already this is going to start to sound, I hesitate to say jazzy, but it's going to sound more full or bigger chords, which this doesn't make it better. This is just a different sound to experiment with. If you run into one of these that sounds good, that you like, then steal that, use it on your own song. On this song, it would sound something like this.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong.
Okay, so then already
the
we've changed the sound, the quality of those chords a whole lot. It almost kind of sounds like a reharm, even though we haven't actually changed any of the chords. So that's the first thing we would do. And then the other thing we can do, just to give ourselves more options, is play the 5 of any chord before it. So there's a couple different ways to do this. My favorite way to put the 5 of any chord before it is just to go to, let's say here, this one right here. We want to put the 5 of A flat before A flat. So that means I'm going to take this one out right here and put the 5 of A flat before A flat. Well, if I'm playing an A flat chord, what is the 5 of it? 1, 3, 5. That one right there. And E flat, preferably E flat 7, is the 5 of A flat. So I could just put that E flat 7 in there leading into the A flat. The E flat 7 is going to move nicely into the A flat. That does not mean that the E flat 7 is going to sound nice there, but it just means that this move right here is going to be a compelling move, even if it doesn't match the melody quite yet. So then one more try on this. If we had the B flat, there's a B flat chord that we already know. If we want to know what's the 5 of this one, we could go, well, 1, 3, 5. That note right there, the F, would be the 5 of B flat. We would make it an F7 for reasons we don't want to get into right now. So we'd play an F7 chord or just an F chord, and that would move compellingly to a B flat. It might sound terrible in the song, but we could find out by playing it. So we're gonna play Looks Like We Made It, and then we're gonna go to an E flat 7, or I guess we could play the E flat with the 7 and the 9 in there too. Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. So then all of those, if I can get the timing on this right, it would sound something like this.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday.
That's not terrible. And we haven't really done much at all. We've inserted a couple chords, the 5 of each of these chords before them. If you run into one of these, it sounds absolutely terrible. Play it 5 more times. A lot of times these things will grow on you. It just sounds weird at the beginning because it's not what you expected, but the more you play it, the more you'll fall in love with it because you'll hear it like as its own thing instead of as a change from the thing that you're expecting. And if you still hate it, then throw it away. You don't have to keep any of these at all. But that's 7s and 9s and 6s, which is something I'll be throwing in as we go. And then the 5 of any chord before it will kind of give us more things to work with because this next wheel right here has a lot to do with 5 chords. So then right here, what we could do is lower the roots by a half step on longer chords. Okay, So this is also known as a cache. So on a cache, what we do is if we have some chord that's just hanging on for a long time, we don't have a chord that's hanging on for a long time. I guess we have this one B flat right here. That could be an example. And then also we kind of have this thing right here where it's an E flat. It changes to an E flat over G, but technically that E flat lasts for that entire 2 measures. So we'll try this cache idea in these 2 spots. On this E flat, we're just gonna play an E flat and then literally just move the root down by half step like that. They said, I'll bet, and then we'll go to the A flat there. So I guess we could go, E flat and then E flat over D, and then E flat over D flat, and then E flat over C, and then we go to the A flat right there. And then right here we could do the same thing. We could go B flat, and then B flat over A, and then B flat over A flat. We could keep going as many or as few times as we want. Up here we did 4 of them, and then down there on the B flat we just did 3 of them. So I'm just playing the E flat, and then lowering the root into the A flat, and then on the B flat chord, B flat over A, B flat over A flat. We'll try that, see what that sounds like. I'm gonna do this other thing up here twice. The E flat 7 that leads into the A flat, and then we go to the F7 that leads into the B flat. So I'm just copying the top line down to the second line just to fill in some of this stuff. So we've got almost a reharm, a pretty simple reharm on the first almost the entire first verse of this thing. Let's see what it sounds like so far. We've added in 7s and 9s. We've put the 5s of some chords before the chords, and then we did this little cache idea where we just take a chord and we lower the root of the chord as many times as we want or as we have time for. It sounds good. Let's try it.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together.
Okay, cool.
Still.
And then we could do the same thing right there, actually. In fact, I kind of like it better right there. I think I'm going to take these top guys out and just do that same idea. Take out the A flat right there and go B flat over A, and B flat over A flat right there. Because I like the sound of it better, not because there's anything magical happening there. I'm not cheating. I'm just using my ear. I like the cache down below instead. But let's do this. Before we move on to the intermediate version, let's do one more of these things here. See if we can change something on that last line. Dominant polychords built on the the flat 3 and the flat 5 or the flat 6 or the 6. Okay, so this is weird. Let's try it. Just to put, I guess we could, bummer. All right, so this next concept is extremely out. So the idea is, if we've got, for example, a C chord, a C7 preferably, anywhere we have a 7 chord, because that's what a dominant chord is. It's a major chord with a lowered 7, or a 7 that is a whole step below the root. So on any 7 chord that we have, any dominant chord that we have, then we can add in just a triad on top of that and just try them out, which is not how they got their name. But we could go up to the major 2. So if we built this on the 2, like it says, that's our first option, is we just go to the 2 of the chord, and then we play that major chord, a D major chord, on top of a C7. Sounds terrible, except that it doesn't. That could totally work in a lot of cases. You could also try the flat 3. So the flat 3 of C is E flat. This one sounds super duper weird. Man, there's a lot of conflict in there. I like it. We could also try the flat 5. So the flat 5 obviously is F sharp or G flat. And so we could play that chord right there as a poly chord. Poly meaning multiple, many, and chord. Of course, there's like many chords just stacked on top of each other. Technically, these are not, these aren't actually different chords. This is just a dominant chord with a sharp 11 and a flat 9. But to think of them as poly chords might help you build them faster than trying to build a C7 sharp 11 flat 9. Flat 9 sharp 11. You should put the numbers in order. Anyway, another one would be a flat 6. So the flat 6 in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The flat 6 would be A flat. So this is like a sharp 9 and like a flat 13 in there. And the other one you could try is a 6, which has a regular 13 and a flat 9, if you want to think of it that way. So here are just some ways of voicing extensions. So Kendra, pick one of these at random for me, if you would. 2, a flat 3, a flat 5, a flat 6, or a 6.
A 6.
A 6, cool. And then we're gonna try that on the last line there. I shouldn't have done it there, but I did. So right here on this B flat, this is a B flat 7 chord. This is the one that we're gonna put the poly chord on. And this is gonna be a B flat, the 6 of B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is G. So we're gonna play like a G chord over B flat. That sounds weird. So G over B flat. Now normally this means like a G chord over a root note of B flat, but in this case we actually do mean a B flat 7 with a G. That's gonna sound so out of place in the song because everything is so far in the song. It's all like safe chords that like sound pretty and poppy, and then we've got this weird this weird polychord. That's my excuse for how terrible it's gonna sound. And then in a lot of cases, I make that excuse and it ends up sounding awesome. I don't think this one's gonna sound awesome, but it's one of our options. G chord over a B flat 7. Let's try it.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong.
Dag nabbit! I really like that sound. That sounded really cool to me. Just look at us holding on. Yeah, if we put a couple other like, man, I could really dig that chord a whole lot. So it's a G chord on top of a B flat, and I thought it would sound terrible, and I'm really liking it now. Let me hear that a couple more times here. I'm gonna try to play all that same exact stuff, and here's our random polychord on a random dominant chord in the middle of a song that it shouldn't fit in at all, and I'm falling in love with it.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong. You're still the one
I can't make it sound bad now. Maybe that already sounds bad to you, but I'm loving it. One more time through all the stuff we've done so far, and then we'll try to reharm this bad boy down here, this chorus. All right.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. we're still together, still going strong.
Okay.
Still
Yep.
the
Cool. And I
one
actually played it right that time, even though I didn't like my voicing as much because I played the B flat first, the way that we said, and then I went to the G over B flat, and I liked that even more. So I accidentally played the B flat, and I was like, oh no, this is the part with the G, and so then I changed the G over B flat, and then I realized that was the way it was supposed to be all along. So and I like that even more because it kind of like sets you up for that regular B flat chord, and then adds the tension in afterwards. So I definitely am going to keep that no matter what else we do. But we're about to go to the intermediate version of this lesson. We're already there, friends, but let's make it official right now. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.